It's breakfast in the forest again. I mean, you really just can't go wrong, can you? You just can't go wrong with this view. I could spend all day back here. Gracie and I are once again spending time in our beautiful forest. And Martine had a great question. She says, what about a whole week of hanging out in the forest, acclimating to being out here? To that I said, yes, that's exactly what we're doing. We're spending as much time as we can out here in the forest. And while I'm out here, I actually end up pondering a lot of stuff because there's a lot of time to just think, just stand around. And I already finished my coffee. Now I'm just literally standing around waiting for Gracie to have breakfast and have her chill out. I'm not holding the lead, as you can see. It is on the ground. I'm expecting her to just hang out with me and the food. Now I'm cheating, but it's not a bad cheat. It's not, as we talked about in a past video, it's not a reward. It just happens to be my simulated pasture. So we've come out to a pasture in the middle of a forest. But I was pondering something. If you're interested in hearing some of my ponderings, well, this is the place to be, because the other day I went to a trailer training clinic, and I literally watched two of my friends do things that I would never do. While I still have plenty of respect for them for who they are as a person and all that, our horsemanship ideals are somewhat the same, but how we get there is very different. I don't have anything bad to say, but what I do have to say is I had a lot of insight into me within minutes. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know how many of you do this, but I do this. I'm always thinking, and I'm always wondering if the things that I am thinking make any sense, whether I'm doing the right thing, whether I'm doing the wrong thing, whether... She's thinking of leaving. Stay. All right. So, if you step on this, you get worried. I don't want you worried. Stick around. Okay, so a couple of reminders to have her stay around. That's not so bad. Anyways, so thing that I thought about while I was doing or sitting at this clinic. What are you doing? Why would you go in the forest when you've got all this food here? Okay, just so she sticks around with me a little bit, and I'm gonna just give the indication that I'm not gonna let her walk. Okay, so the thoughts that I had was that hi, why so snuggly? Can you not? Okay, so back to the topic at hand. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by my horse, who is looking back somewhere. Eating. The one thing that I think we all have, I think everybody has in their head, is that they know what to do and how to do it and how they do it and why they do it, and this is the way you do it. And we tend to sort of shut down when somebody is showing a different thing. And I started to do that. I started to watch, and I was like, oh. I started to kind of look around, and then I just check phone and sort of tune out during some stuff that I really, really wouldn't do. And then I thought, wait a second, this has got to be a learning opportunity. I've got to be able to pick up, I know I won't do that, but exactly why won't I do that? You know, you either are the choir or you're preaching to the choir, and you just sort of stay in your bubble. Your understanding of something is absolute. The other part of that is trying not to have a heavy bias to say, this is exactly why I don't do this, which there are a lot of channels that are built off of, especially horse channels that go about judging others, telling everybody why they think everything is wrong. Maybe a few things right, but mostly wrong. And so what I wanted to do was objectively be able to look at the situation that I was seeing and saying, this is why I think this is ineffective, why it's not going to be expeditious for training purposes to do things this way. And the primary thing really was the basic concept of trying to bring everything down to a very calm level. It's very easy to be sort of afraid of horses. They're big, they're fast, tend to feel like they're going to knock us over or hurt us. And we carry those, as I said in the past video, carry those failures on to our next situation or our next circumstance or even our next horse, not even the same horse. What I wanted to do at this clinic wasn't really to learn what I should do, but to sort of tune out the words a little bit, like listen to them, because they're very well used words. Often of like, well, when you want a horse to be good somewhere, work them really hard somewhere else. And I've had a few people comment like that here on this channel, and I always say no. That is absolutely not what I would do. What I want to do is get a horse to start thinking about being quiet with me. And so watching what was happening, where somebody was ramping up away from the place they wanted the horse to calm down, and then somehow expecting that horse to understand that the place that they were at was the place to be quiet, even though the person they are with is the one that ramps them up. Think about the cause of what the ramping is, what the drive is, what the lack of draw would be, is what I sort of referred it to. And I really objectively was able to watch what was happening and see how and why I would not do, and further why I would not do the idea that when you're away from something, you should get as active as possible. Where the horse doesn't want to be. When you're away from that spot, get as active as possible. When you come back to it, get really quiet. And I say, I want my horse quiet or active anywhere. If I want to practice quiet, if I want to get a horse quiet, I better practice quiet everywhere until I can get that horse to be quiet. And then we'll start talking, communicating, going back and forth. I guess in the end, to summarize all of that, really, as I sit and think about, well, did I waste my time or was it a good use of time? And it was absolutely a good use of time. Good people, great venue, really nice horses, obviously. Some techniques that I just have not been a fan of for a long time. I used to do, found ineffective, and still objectively find ineffective, because I am never going to create, or I'm likely not to create, an environment for my horse where being wherever I am, not the place. Because one of the questions I asked was like, well, how do you translate that into every other situation? Like, if just being behind the trailer is the quiet spot, how do you then work on a forest problem or work on a trail riding problem or work on an arena problem or working on a mounting block problem or getting through a gate problem? Like, how do you have that horse think? Do you have to address every single spot? That sounds so ineffective and pointless to me. I could be wrong, but if I don't even need the hold, I don't think I need the hold. I'm gonna put this down now. If I can convince Gracie to just be with me wherever we go, whether it's in the trailer, in the forest, out on a trail, away from friends, out at a park, who cares? It doesn't matter. If I don't have to continuously do work somewhere where she wants to be, to not do work somewhere else, I think that is a huge win. And it makes it so much easier. Your communication is better, your draw is better, your relationship is better, because you're not driving them to do anything. So the old adage, and I think it is really old. Hey. Come here. I think it's really old. I think it's archaic. It's ancient. The idea that you've got to move a horse's feet to get something with them. I think there is far more value. And the odd thing is I think that the people that do this work think the same thing, because they're trying to get the horse to be really quiet at the place they want them to be really quiet. That was so close. I could feel the hay touch the top of my head. Watch out for that. Horses hit you in the head, they'll give you a concussion. I do think they believe it. They just have been convinced that you should make a horse be quiet only in one spot. And I think it should be everywhere. Even especially if they want to be quiet there. That's fantastic. You get all kinds of opportunities to give scratches and come up and be really comforting and warm and a friend. Something that they will look for when they're worried. Not, somebody who's going to push them around and tell them what to do. Ponderings from the Forest. Part 2. How many times have I done this? A couple times for sure. With Gracie. So this is our life. Getting better. Okay, that's it for now. I will see you guys in the next one. We're just going to enjoy a little more forest time here. It is beautiful out. And I think Gracie's doing a little bit better over time.